and welcome to Newspaper Review on TAF TV. I am Aupe Iwisi Georgina, your host for today's episode of Newspaper Review. And joining me to review the headlines today is Miss Kosi. Miss Kosi, how are you doing?
I'm fine, I'm good.
You're good. Today is Friday.
Yeah, thank God it's Friday, weekend.
It is. Any beautiful plans?
Nothing much. At least I'll have some time to myself, you understand? Away from work and all that.
And speaking about adding your voice to the conversation, please follow us on all of our social media handles, drop a comment, subscribe to our YouTube channel to get notified whenever we upload any new content on TAF TV. And to review the newspaper, we are going to begin with Daily Independent. Daily Independent is leading with the story, lawyers condemn endless use of charges to detain Emefiele. Lawyers condemn endless use of charges to detain Emefiele. Still on Daily Independent, 3 officers, 22 soldiers killed in Niger ambush, says DHQ. And on the front page of Daily Independent, FG gives states 5 billion naira each as palliative over subsidy removal. Subsidiaries there say raises committee of governors to negotiate with labor unions to set up 5-man ad hoc committee on flooding across the country. On page 7, we are ready for Niger with our standby force, ECOWAS. We are ready for Niger with our standby force, ECOWAS. That's on page 7. And on page 7, job racketeering probe. Reps to recommend sanctions against MDA's floating federal character. Job racketeering probe. Reps to recommend sanctions against MDA's floating federal character. On page 6, Seplet clarifies ownership of ill-fated Majestic rig. Seplet clarifies ownership of ill-fated Majestic rig. And on page 6, Unical suspends dean accused of sexually harassing students. Unical suspends dean accused of sexually harassing students. Still on Daily Independent, Speaker reshuffles reps. Standing committees appoints 5 chairmen. Speaker reshuffles reps. Standing committees appoints 5 chairmen. Still on Daily Independent, Lai Mohammed offers services of his PR fame to Tinubu's government. Lai Mohammed offers services of his PR fame to Tinubu's government. Page 6 captures details of that story. Grab your copy of Daily Independent to find out more. Still on Daily Independent, Tinubu begs Nigerians to bear pains caused by subsidy remover. Tinubu begs Nigerians to bear pains caused by subsidy remover, says solutions to challenges are being churned out daily. Jonathan, Gowon, Apabio, Bala, others honor Clark at book launch. And that's all the issues we'll be taking on Daily Independent. To dissect, we're going to head over to page 6. Unical suspends dean accused of sexually harassing students. Now, this is a story that, it's not a new story, rather, it isn't a new story in the history of Nigerian tertiary institutions, Ms. Kosi. It is so unfortunate because the issue of sexual harassment affects the victims socially and psychologically. These consequences, it deters the victims from pursuing their academic pursuits. And so it has not just negative effect on the individual, but also their contributions to the development of their country. So, Ms. Kosi, I think this is a plausible thing that the dean who has been accused of sexually harassing students in tertiary institution has been brought to justice. So
and I feel, firstly, I'll have to applaud the student that came out in mass to protest.
Absolutely.
Because this issue is something that started, okay, I don't know when it started, but a case was brought up against the dean, that's dean of law faculty in University of Calabar, and since 2015, and they've been on that case till now. And it's not just it; he has been on case, and he's still busy. He's still free, doing all sorts of things, all sorts of sexual abuse on the female students, which is wrong. And for the fact that the president of law faculty, that's a student, a fellow student like them, was the one that came out to even organize people. Like, they've seen him, he has already seen what happened. Because when I saw this story, I had to call someone I know from that is schooling in Unical. So I wanted to get a first-hand information from the person, and I was able to gather some evidence and some information about the man. And it came to my knowledge that this man has been doing this thing for a long time, and he has been going scot-free. And nobody has been doing anything. And to his own strategy about in this is he'll make you feel so emotional that you don't have anything to do about it. Even him will be like, you can't do anything about it. And this is not just him. There are a lot of people like him out there in different universities that has been taking advantage of the young girls. This man, to think that he's 70 years, and he's still someone that's supposed to be resting. I thought the age minimum for working in Nigeria is 65, right?
Yeah,
it should be 65. So what is he still doing in being the dean of university? I don't really understand what's happening. This Nigerian, I just hate it. The way the lecturers parade themselves. If a whole dean of a faculty can be like this, as dubious and wicked as this, I wonder what will be happening in that faculty. Yeah. I wonder what other lecturers will be doing. This one, because you can't even, because I remember back then when I was in school, and a lot of things normally happen, and they'll advise you to go to the dean and lay your complaint. Yeah. Only for you to go to the dean, and only for you to find out that even the dean is like the head, the lion in it, you understand? And have they ever thought how the parents of these victims will feel? Yeah. You send your baby, your kids, you send your children to school only for them to come back and cry on your children, only to them to tell you that they've been sexually molested. It's wrong. Do you know the psychological effect it has on the parents? Yeah. Me, I've been a parent. I know I'm not yet a parent, but when I was going through those information I got, those data, and I saw how he sexually molested this young lady, and it's really disheartening. You understand? And it was even the mother of the girl that came out openly to say everything, how everything happened. Like sexually assaulted the little girl, took advantage of her just because you're in power. Nigerians, seriously, in Nigeria, one thing with Nigerians is once you get or acquire small power, you feel like God. And I'm wondering, if man is to be God, what will happen? Yeah, what will happen? Seriously, because that means
God, that's not the case. Man is not God.
Cough, everything, you are dead. Just try to pass when the person is passing, you are dead. It's wrong. If you are in power, you should use that your position to fight against people that are being maltreated. Not you using it to feel as if you withered a whole lot of power. Okay, then you can threaten or trample upon the weak people. It's wrong. Yeah. And his strategy is something that is making me angry. It's disheartening because imagine, okay, according to the story that some of the information I got that happened in 2015, this they were actually having tests and a quiz, and he gave them one hour, only for him to come inside the class 20 minutes before the time. And then you already timed yourself. Yeah. I know if I'm answering questions, I remember I timed myself. I give myself maybe I'll just spend 10 minutes on this question, 10 minutes on this question. I imagine timing yourself only for them to come out before. It's wrong. Yeah, once they give time, it's wrong. You shouldn't come before the actual time. Once they give you, it's 1 hour. Come then 1 hour. Why did he come before 20 minutes? It shows that he has already planned his exactly his attack. Went to the girl's table, tore her book only for the girl. Okay, the girl was passing with her friends, and they have to pass through the dean of faculty, through his office, and he was on that. Okay, he blocked the girl, asked the girl to follow him, because this type of thing, they tore your book. Yeah. And most times you know what you wrote, you understand. Mm-hmm. And for them to tear your book, you try to reach out to the lecturer to know what's wrong and all that. Yeah. And she must have been, that moment they tore your book and you're feeling emotional and okay, sir, please, you understand? And only for him to take advantage of that situation.
Yeah, I think another question to bring out is the issue of the student subordinate and superior relationship between the lecturers and students, because I think that student must have been afraid in a way, because he's a lecturer, right?
And we are not just lecturer,
he's a
dean. You
So
know what it means.
he's like,
All these people that have gone through the walls of university will know what a dean means. It's like the head of the whole department, of the faculty, exactly, of that faculty. You understand? And for the dean to even tell you, if a dean should tell you, follow me, without questioning, you have to. You understand? And most lecturers or most deans, they use take advantage of it.
Yes,
I remember when I was in school, a lot of students are victims of all this rape. It's wrong. This is something they're supposed to. Parents should also put hands, teach your daughter the right ethics. That once you are being violated, speak up. I know at times they are scared of speaking up because they feel that when you speak up and they will tamper with your result and all that.
Yes, it has happened in the past before. We have seen it happen before, so it's not
something new. But I feel that the government should, the universities or the federal government, because mostly all these things are being heard from states, federal and states. I don't think you can see this in private university. Not after paying millions of naira and you're telling me, who are you? By the time the parents of the person will threaten you. But it's wrong. Just because a lot of people are not privileged to be in private university doesn't give them that right to trample on them. Because they send them to go there to school, to acquire the education. These are the basic education, these are the rights as a Nigerian citizen, with the government own us. So for us to come there and to study, they should study in peace and not be molested or harassed by lecturers. Yeah. So that's my own thought, or my own take on it. Because if I should continue to dissect in this matter, seriously, I don't think we are going to live here.
Yes, thank you so much for that. I think the issue of sexual harassment is not really publicized the way it should, because of the victims who are always silent about it out of fear.
Right.
Because of, for me, I believe it's because of that subordinate and superior relationship between students and lecturers on campus. So for me, I feel NGOs, individual bodies, well, you're already doing more to see how you can cushion this particular effect on the Nigerian
and they should make sure to bring that devil to book. They should bring him to book. Well, it's very important. So it will serve as a deterrent to other lecturers who are already into that system or set for the grades.
Yeah, it's already a start. This already is a start, and I think this would also encourage other universities, young people in other universities, to also engage in this. It's our rights. It's their rights. So speak up. If you're being victimized, if you're a victim, please don't be silent. The more silent you are, the more invisible it will be, and justice will not prevail, rather. Okay. So thank you so much for that, Ms. Kosi. So moving over to the next newspaper for review, we'll review the This Day newspaper. This Day is leading with ECOWAS. Our forces ready to storm Niger if diplomatic options fail. Junta leaders evacuate families to Dubai, Burkina Faso. SADC supports AU regional blocs positions. Still on this day, lawyers condemn fresh charge against Emefiele. That's on page 6. And on page 10, CBN's price verification portal for import-export goes live. Still on this day, DHQ to terrorists, others will raise your sons and daughters. The front page of this day says FGOK's 180 billion naira palliative fund. Each state gets paltry 5 billion naira. Releases 100,000 bags of rice to states. States insist World Bank's $800 million support should be through cash transfers. NEC sets up negotiation committee to interfere with labor. And that's all the issues we'll be taking on This Day newspaper. To dissect, we're going to head over to page 5. ECOWAS, our forces ready to storm Niger if diplomatic options fail. ECOWAS is ready to move into Niger to intervene if every single options they have adopted so far fails. Ms. Kosi, what's your take on this?
This ECOWAS issue is something I'll be following like back to back. And I've seen a whole lot of things has happened ever since the 26th July, that they actually did the coup and they had to imprison their former president. And along the line, the ECOWAS, they had to intervene. They gave them ultimatum, they gave them some sanctions and all that. And some Nigerian religious leaders actually went for peace talk. And I remember they said they are open for the diplomatic talk, right? But I feel that war shouldn't be used no matter what, because war is not supposed to be the right thing to do in terms of this. You understand? And being it that Nigeria share border with them is something that it won't just affect Niger, it also affects Nigerians. Our economy is too down for us to start looking for us to embark on war.
Yeah.
You understand? As of the other day, that as of this week, this week that about 21 soldiers died.
Yeah.
Bandits. We have our own issues already, and
Absolutely.
adding this to
Inflation.
Nigerian economy is going to degrade it more. We are seeing that the naira is now losing its value. It has already lost its value, and still these people want to engage in war. And I'm asking, is war actually the right thing to do? To me, it's not. It's not, because a whole lot of things should have been done. These people, they should look out for what they are clamoring for. The reason why they did this coup. You understand? They should consider reason with them, because most of these ECOWAS countries, they are just doing it for their own selfish reason. Yeah, ask me why. Because a whole lot of things, most of them know that once this succeeds in Niger, a lot of countries that are facing difficulties, that feel that the military takeover is the last option for them. That democracy, because a lot of them, they are saying the reason why they want to intervene is because they want to restore it to civilian rule, because democracy has been tampered and all that. To me, it's their own selfish gain. France is the colonial master, but France, let me tell you, France has been exploiting them in terms of taking their uranium, which should have been used to develop their country. They are taking it to themselves. It's wrong. We are trying to remove ourselves from this colonial rule. They say we are free, we've gotten our independence, but to me, I feel this is a modern colonialism. It's not directly, but indirectly they are still ruling us. We are still under them. Till when are we going to free ourselves from these shackles of colonial rule? We came out from slavery. We entered Sahara slave trade. We came out from there. We entered that's after the scramble and partition of Africa. We entered colonialism. From there, they say exploiting us, our economy and everything is being like
form of colonialism.
Exactly, which is wrong. Imperialism. And they said, yeah, they brought development in our country. But there's one popular book I always like, that I always read while I was in school then. It was written by Walter Rodney. I don't know if you... Exactly, How Europe Underdeveloped Africa. And there's one particular standard I always like to quote, that they came to waste us and not to, to waste in terms of take everything, and not to waste in terms of the wasting to westernize us. That they actually came to exploit us. You understand? Yeah, they brought in Western education, the mode of learning this thing.
It was so they could easily penetrate.
Yes. So that, because they know that if they don't educate you well, they won't be able to communicate well.
Exactly.
So they have to.
And
You understand?
The first thing they took us was the language.
The language, our own mother tongue, it is to development. They made us look, we saw them as God because of their color. A lot of them, they even regard them as white God. That the God, I remember when they came to Africa, so some people were like that, that God has come to the world, you understand, all this something. So back to what I was saying. I'm saying the only thing for us to do now in terms of this Niger, this thing is, no matter what happened, war shouldn't be the last option. And a lot of people are already suffering. Go to the north, to the northern part of Nigeria. You see how, go to all these IDP, internally displaced homes. A lot of people had been displaced from their home because of all this banditry. We've had a whole lot of problems. We can't afford to add it to what we are suffering. Transportation, fuel subsidy is there. We have our own problem for us to enter into all this into war with Niger. And a lot of our brothers and sisters, we married there, we share this boundary with them, we have bond with them that, and you can't undermine the effort Niger had, they put during the civil war. How they helped Nigeria? They provided them with weapons. They provided them with a lot of things. So that whatever President Bola Tinubu is doing, being the chairman, he shouldn't take war as the final resort. No matter what happened, he should exhaust every diplomatic means to be able to restore them, restore them to civilian rule. But war is a no-no for us.
Okay, yeah. Thank you very much for that. War is a no-no. However, whatever is involved in this conflict, one very important thing that I think every West African state should take note of is that we need to decolonize our colonial mindset and culture, because it is negatively affecting our socio-economic and political development. And so, yes, ECOWAS, please ensure you exhaust every diplomatic options before you embark on war. Its negative effects cannot be cushioned.
Exactly.
Okay, and moving over to the final review. But before we review the final newspaper, let's go on a short break. When we come back, we'll review the last newspaper. Don't go anywhere.
Hey there! Are you looking to record your videos, do your voiceovers, and take your professional pictures? Look no further. With our state-of-the-art newsroom, photography, kitchen for our food content creators, and exclusive children's studio, we certainly can deliver the best studio experience. Our carefully designed studio space can bring your diverse creative content ideas to life. We aim to consistently serve value to our customers far and wide. Come, let Tharv Media give life to your dreams. Tharv Media, a slice of infotainment.
Welcome back. Many thanks for staying with us and still watching newspaper review on Tab TV. To review the next, or the final newspaper rather, we are going to review the Vanguard newspaper. The Vanguard is leading with the story on page 3. Emefele, FG showing signs of disobeying court orders, judge. Court strikes out firearms possession charge. Next, subsidy remover, no instant solutions to Nigerians' problems. Subsidy remover, no instant solutions to Nigeria's problems, says Tinubu. On page 19, Transcorp acquires 60% stake in Abuja Disco. Transcorp acquires 60% stake in Abuja Disco. On the front cover, on the front page of Vanguard, we will invade Niger if diplomacy fails, says past deployment in Sierra Leone, Liberia, others, example of readiness. Germany backs EU sanctions against military junta. WFP calls for free flow of aid amid ongoing crisis. 3 officers, 22 soldiers killed in Niger ambush crash, DHQ. That's on page 7. Still on the Vanguard. Subsidy remover, FG shocked over high food transportation costs. Approves 5 billion naira, 5 trucks of rice to each state. Mandates NEMA to distribute food items to states sharing borders with Niger. Says refugees from Niger Republic flood Nigeria. Only 2 billion naira released yet, says Governor Sani. Still on the Vanguard. Owen Lamife, death has robbed Nigeria of a great soul at a time we seek direction and need our best brains at work. On page 14, flood. We are burdened by over 6,000 IDPs, Niger government. Over 1,680 Nigerian school children kidnapped since Chibok incident. On page 29, club owners taxes new sports Minister, Senator Eno, on foodborne development. And that's all the stories we'll be taking on the Vanguard newspaper. And to analyze, we'll move over to page 25. Subsidy remover, FG shocked over high food transportation costs. But then again, I wonder, why exactly is the federal government shocked over the outcome of subsidy removal? I mean, were they not aware of the fact that it was going to cause inflation?
Seriously,
I mean, this is
I just feel that each incident that takes place in Nigeria, the federal government is always shocked. Like, it's as if like they are not in Nigeria. Like, this is not the first time we've been clamoring. All these strike, all these protests by NLC, all these protests from the National Association of Nigerian Resident Doctors, all these protests, all this clamor, all this anguish that is happening, is it that they are not aware of it? But I don't blame them. How would they be aware, whereas they are up there and doing nothing? They should come down to the grassroots and see how people are suffering, and see how many homes are being displaced, especially during this rainy season. Flooding, a whole lot of people, some houses have been submerged by rain, and nothing is being done. You're on your own in this Nigeria. No, the citizens' interests are not even put out there before their own interests. Nigerian citizens now, we are on our own. And the fact that they actually they shared 5 billion, right, to all the 36 states.
It's plausible. It's a good one.
It's a good one, and I applaud them, because once they do something like this, and I'm always happy about it. But the problem with Nigeria is, will they be able to implement it?
Yeah,
implementation is something Nigerian lacks. It's something, because everybody wants to put in their own pockets. They don't want to. They just want their own generational wealth. Let them take what they will gain, what they will gain. Forgetting people that are down there, Nigerians that are suffering. Go to the streets, little kids begging. They've turned them into beggars. Little kids are meant to be in schools, which is wrong. And if actually they are going to implement this issue, is a very big improvement in terms of in Nigerian economy, because we need to monetize our agriculture. We are blessed. Nigeria, we are actually blessed with good soil. There's nothing like natural disaster. You see the one of hurricane is coming, or this thing, tsunami, all this earthquake. We are blessed. We should monetize. That's why I like during the time of the regime of Obasanjo. He made it Operation Feed the Nation. That was the policy he brought out. And that policy, it's kind of, because then Nigeria was depending on oil. So he had to diversify the economy of the country. He has to diversify it to be able to, it won't be centered on petroleum. Let it be exactly agriculture. We are blessed with good soil. So why won't we make use of it? A lot of people are not even, a lot of countries, especially the Europeans, they don't even have all these things. Especially if you remember the Japan Meiji, this thing, Meiji time, the time they had to reconstruct Japan. During the Meiji time, that, you know, Japan, they don't really have soil or good soil or something, and they had to close their border. Then they had to work on it.
They looked
inward. Even during American time, where they did policy of isolation, exactly. And when during that time, they isolate themselves inwardly. They closed their boundary for 2 years. They were working on themselves. So why would Nigeria do something like that? Not that I'm asking Nigeria to close their border entirely, because we cannot even survive. But at least we should look inward in terms of improving in our soil, in our agriculture. You understand? If you know, in our rice, and I love, there was a policy that Buhari then did, where he had to put a ban on importation of foreign rice. It was even then that Nigeria started producing their own rice,
Because
which is
Nigeria
raw,
not a
which is
consuming
right.
nation.
Exactly. We
don't
are just,
produce.
we don't produce.
We
But with
consume.
that, he was able to, he made a lot of people to start producing. And now, I can't even remember the last time I ate
Yes.
foreign rice.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? And, but now, even with our our local production, why is it still costly? It's still costly, but I understand these people. A lot of farmers, they complain about, because a lot of these machines are being imported, so they need to add it when they are selling. So they need to add it to their prices and all that. So whatever they are doing, if they're able to share this, disburse this money equally the way they do it, and improve in our economy, especially at least we are in rainy season, at least things grow fast now. You understand? It's time to invest in this agriculture.
Yeah.
You understand? So I applaud our Vice President Kashim Shettima. I applaud him on this program, this policy he made, and I hope that the government will be able to share everything and make use of the money very well. So that's my own opinion on this.
All right, thank you, Ms. Kosi. And yes, this is a very beautiful policy. It is wonderful, but then we have to await its effective implementation. That's when we really know that it's in fact beneficial to the vast majority of Nigerians. But beyond this temporary measure, we need to diversify. We need to expand. We need to go beyond. We need to go beyond this. And so, yes, we applaud the federal government for this beautiful move in the right direction.
Yes.
And so that brings us to the end of newspaper review today, where we review, analyze socioeconomic and political happenings covered on the front page newspapers across Nigeria. And so until we come your way again next time, but before then, don't forget, follow us on all of our social media handles, subscribe to our YouTube channel to get notified whenever we upload any new content. I remain your host, Alwe Iwesi Georgina. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.